Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time, we're going to be taking a look at a research paper that has been making waves
Yeah.
in the robotics world.
Yeah.
And, I think this is going to be a really, really fascinating one. So
Yeah.
just imagine, picture this in your mind. A robot walking down the street in San Francisco,
Wow.
dodging people,
Yeah.
going up curbs, navigating all these different types of terrain, and just moving with fluidity and grace
Uh-huh.
like a human. And that's kind of the vision behind this paper
Right.
called Humanoid Locomotion as Next Token Prediction. And joining us today to unpack all this is
Yeah.
an expert in the field. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Excited to dive in.
Yeah, this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
So this paper, it's all about teaching robots to walk like us.
Yes, that's
Thank you.
that's the big goal here, trying to get robots
Oh,
to move with the same kind of fluidity and adaptability
Right.
that we just take for granted.
Yeah, we don't even think about it. We just do it.
Yeah.
But for a robot, that's a huge
Huge challenge.
challenge. But okay, so the title mentions this next token prediction.
Yeah.
What is that all about?
So that's where things get really interesting. These researchers, they had this idea to treat a robot's movements like a language.
A why?
So every motion, every shift in balance, every step becomes like a token in a sequence,
Okay.
like words in a sentence.
So the robot's learning the grammar of movement.
Exactly. Yeah, they trained this powerful AI model called the
Ah.
transformer model
Huh?
to predict the robot's next action
Right.
based on its past movements and what it's sensing.
I am very intrigued. So tell me about like what textbook
Yeah.
they used to teach this robot its movement language.
Yeah, well, they actually used a really diverse set of materials.
Okay.
It's like giving the robot a well-rounded education
Mm-hmm.
in human movement.
Okay, walk me through it.
All right, so they started with data from a virtual robot
Okay.
trained using something called reinforcement learning.
Ah, yeah. So this is where the robot's learning. Through trial and error
Yeah,
in a simulated environment.
exactly. Kind of like a baby taking its first steps,
Yeah.
stumbling, adjusting, and figuring it out.
So they taught a virtual robot to walk before moving to the real deal.
Precisely. And then they incorporated data from an actual robot,
Okay.
the digit robot,
Okay.
built by Agility Robotics.
So the training wheels come off.
Yeah.
Now we're in the real world.
Real world experience.
Oh, yes.
So they also used motion capture data,
Okay.
recording the precise movements of humans.
So like those suits they use in movies to
Yes.
make CGI characters?
Exactly.
Right.
But in this case, capturing the nuances of how real people walk.
Wow.
And then, this is where it gets really mind-blowing.
Yeah.
They use YouTube videos.
No way.
Yep, YouTube. Think it's a treasure trove
Yeah.
of human movement.
Yeah.
People walking, running, dancing. It's all there.
Okay.
And they used computer vision techniques to actually extract movement data.
So they taught a robot to walk.
Yeah.
By showing it YouTube videos of people walking.
In a way, yes. It's amazing.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
But okay, so did all this training, did it actually like translate to real world skills?
Yeah.
Did they take this robot for a walk?
Well, they did. They tested the model on the digit robot in San Francisco.
Oh, wow. San Francisco with the hills,
Yeah.
the crowds.
Tough test.
That's a tough test.
It is.
So how did it do?
It did remarkably well. Figure 1 in the paper shows the robot walking in all these different locations around the city,
Okay.
handling concrete asphalt, even dirt paths.
So this robot can handle more than just a stroll in the park
Yeah, it can handle some
or on a flat surface.
real-world challenges.
All right, so what else could it do? Could it like walk backward?
So that's that's a great question, and it highlights the power of this approach. Even though the robot wasn't specifically trained to walk backward,
Wow.
it could do it. Figure 9 shows this really clearly.
No way.
It's like the robot didn't just memorize movements. It learned these underlying principles of balance and locomotion.
It cracked the code
Yeah.
of movement.
It's impressive.
So going from walking forward to backward without specific training,
Yeah,
that's a huge leap.
it is.
Okay, I'm starting to see why this research is making waves.
Right.
Can this approach handle even more complex movements, though?
That's a great question, and the researchers actually looked into that. Figure 10 shows their scaling studies, where they experimented with larger data sets, longer context windows, and bigger, more complex models.
So what did they find?
They found that as they scaled things up, the robot's performance improved significantly.
Interesting.
So this suggests that this next token prediction approach has a lot of potential for even more complex movements in the future.
That's really cool. So it seems like
Yeah.
they drew inspiration from all these different fields.
It's true. It's like a fusion of robotics, AI, and even human movement analysis with those YouTube videos.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
But, speaking of those YouTube videos, that part still has me a little bit confused. Like, how do you
Good question.
How do you get good, clean data from something as chaotic as YouTube?
It's a challenge for sure, and highlights this crucial aspect of machine learning, which is data quality.
Right.
You need good data to train a good model.
Yeah.
And YouTube, with all its variety and unpredictability, could be a data minefield.
Yeah, absolutely. So how do they navigate that?
Well, they were very selective in their approach. They focused on videos that clearly showed human locomotion.
Okay.
So things like walking, running, and even more dynamic movements like jumping or climbing stairs.
So they narrowed their focus.
Yeah.
But how did they extract the good information from the videos?
Right. So they used the sophisticated computer vision algorithm called VALF.
VALP.
Yeah.
Imagine it like a super detailed motion tracking system.
So it's not just feeding raw video footage to the AI.
Right.
They were actually isolating and analyzing specific movement patterns.
Gotcha.
So PALP allowed them to track the 3D positions of a person's joints in each frame of the video.
That's incredible.
So this gave them this structured data set of human movement.
So it's like translating the dance routine.
It's a great analogy.
From one language to another.
Yeah, they took the language of human movement from YouTube and converted it into something the robot could understand.
That's so cool.
It's a complex process, but it allowed them to leverage this vast and readily available source of data.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's incredible to think that they were able to bridge that gap.
It is.
Going from these YouTube videos to a robot walking down the street in San Francisco.
It's a testament to...
It really shows the power.
The ingenuity and the outside-the-box thinking of these researchers.
Yeah, and the creativity involved.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder what other unconventional data sources we could be tapping into to train AI in the future.
Lots of possibilities.
Yeah, there's got to be so many that we haven't even thought of.
Right.
But let's zoom out a bit.
Okay.
What are the bigger picture implications of this research? What does it tell us about the future?
Well, I think one of the key takeaways is the power of generative modeling.
Okay.
So by training a model to predict the next token in a sequence,
right,
whether it's a word in a sentence or a movement, in a series of actions, we can actually unlock this deeper understanding of the structure of complex data.
So it's like giving AI systems a way to learn and understand the world more intuitively. Yeah. More like how we do it.
More like how we do it. Absolutely.
I see. Okay, so that's one big takeaway. What's another one?
Another crucial takeaway is the importance of data diversity. So this research shows that combining data from different sources, simulations to real-world robots to motion capture to YouTube, can create a much richer and more robust learning experience.
So it's not just about the quantity of data, it's also about the variety.
It's about the variety. Giving the AI a well-rounded education.
Got it.
And I think that diverse data set played a huge role in the robot's ability to adapt and generalize its skills in the real world.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So it seems like we're kind of moving away from robots that just follow pre-programmed instructions and moving towards robots that can actually learn and adapt on the fly.
That's where this research is pointing. It's a shift towards robots that can learn from experience, much like humans do. And that has huge implications for how we design and interact with robots in the future.
It's exciting, but it's also a little bit daunting.
Yeah, it raises some big questions.
Yeah, for sure. Like, how do we ensure that these robots are safe and reliable?
Exactly.
Especially when they're learning from all these different unpredictable data sources.
Absolutely. Safety is paramount.
Yeah.
Especially as robots move from controlled labs into our complex, messy world.
Imagine a robot learning from a YouTube video that shows someone doing something reckless or dangerous.
Yeah.
Could that
That's a concern.
lead to unintended consequences?
It's a valid concern. And it highlights the need for robust safety mechanisms.
Yeah.
So researchers are working on algorithms that can identify and filter out potentially dangerous actions from the training data.
So it's like we're teaching the robots to discern right from wrong.
Exactly. Understand what's acceptable behavior,
Right.
what's not.
Makes sense. It's like teaching a child about
Yeah.
road safety,
Yeah.
what to do,
Exactly.
what not to do.
Good analogy.
Yeah. So we need to make sure these robots are not just learning to move,
Right.
but learning to move responsibly.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so beyond safety, there's also this question of scalability.
Right.
Can this approach really handle
Yeah.
all the complexities of the real world?
That's the big question. I think the scaling studies provide some encouragement.
Okay.
As they increase the size of their models and data sets, the performance improved.
Okay.
But scaling up to truly human-like agility will require a lot more advancements in both algorithms and computing power.
It seems like there's still a lot of work to be done.
There is.
But the possibilities are pretty amazing.
They are.
If robots can learn to walk from watching YouTube videos, what else might they be able to learn?
That's the question, isn't it?
It is a big question. Imagine robots that can learn complex tasks by just observing human experts. Everything from surgery to construction to art even.
The possibilities are vast.
It's both.
Yeah.
Awe-inspiring and a little bit daunting.
Yeah, it is.
So to our listeners, as you step back into your own world, we leave you with this.
Okay.
As robots become more adept at learning from us, what will they teach us in return?
That's a great question.
It is a big question.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
This was a good one.
This was fun.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
I'll see you later. It really is. It's a great example of how, this interdisciplinary thinking can lead to these big innovations.
Right.
Taking techniques from different areas and kind of like combining them in this new way.
Yeah, it's like a melting pot.
It is.
Of ideas.
Yeah.
That's really cool. But, going back to the YouTube videos for a second.
Okay.
I'm still kind of stuck on that.
Yeah.
Like, how did they
The good question.
make sure they were getting good data from YouTube?
It's a shallow question because it really highlights this crucial challenge in machine learning, which is data quality.
Right.
You need good data.
Garbage in, garbage out.
That's right.
Yeah.
To train a good model, and YouTube, with all its variety and unpredictability, it can be a minefield.
Yeah, absolutely. So how do they navigate that?
So they were very strategic about it.
Okay.
They focused on videos that very clearly showed human locomotion.
Okay.
So things like walking, running, and even more dynamic movements like jumping or climbing stairs.
Okay, so they narrowed their focus.
Yes.
But how do they actually extract the useful information?
So for that, they used this really sophisticated computer vision algorithm called FEALP.
FEALP?
Yeah. Imagine it like this incredibly detailed motion tracking system.
Okay, so it wasn't just feeding the raw video footage to the AI.
Right.
They were actually like isolating and analyzing.
Exactly. They were breaking down the
movement patterns.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So PHLP allowed them to track the 3D positions of a person's joints.
Oh, wow.
In each frame of the video.
That's impressive.
So this gave them a structured data set of human movement that the AI could learn from.
That's like translating a dance routine.
It's a great analogy.
From one language to another.
Yeah. They took that language of human movement from YouTube.
Right.
And converted it into something that the robot could understand.
I love that. That's so cool. So they were able to bridge that gap.
It's pretty incredible.
Going from these YouTube videos to a robot walking down the street.
I know.
It's amazing. It really speaks to...
Yeah, it's a testament to...
the ingenuity.
Creativity and out-of-the-box thinking of these researchers.
They saw the opportunity in a data source that a lot of people might have overlooked.
Exactly.
And that's really cool. Makes you wonder.
Yeah.
What other unconventional data sources could be used to train AI?
Tons of possibilities out there.
Yeah, I'm sure there are that we haven't even thought of yet.
Right.
That's really cool. But let's zoom out a bit.
Okay.
What are some of the bigger picture implications of this research? What does it tell us about the future of AI? About the future of robotics?
Well, I think one of the key takeaways is this idea of generative modeling.
Okay.
So by training a model to predict the next token in a sequence, whether it's a word in a sentence or a movement in a series of actions, we can actually unlock a deeper understanding of how that data is structured.
So it's like we're giving these AI systems a way to learn and understand the world more intuitively.
Yeah.
More like how we do.
More like how we do. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Okay, so that's one big takeaway. What's another one?
Another crucial takeaway is the importance of data diversity.
Okay.
So this research shows that combining data from different sources, like simulations, real-world robots, motion capture YouTube, can create this much richer and more robust learning experience.
Gotcha. So it's not just about the quantity of data.
Right.
It's about the variety.
It's about the variety.
It's about giving the AI a well-rounded education.
A well-rounded education.
Okay. And I think that diverse data set probably played a big role.
Yeah, it did.
In the robot's ability to.
A huge role in its ability to adapt and generalize its
real world
to the real world.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shift towards robots that can learn from experience much like humans do, and that has huge implications for how we design and interact with robots in the future.
Yeah, it's exciting, but it's also a little bit scary.
It is. Yeah, it raises some big questions.
Like, how do we ensure that these robots are safe and reliable?
Yeah.
Especially when they're learning from all these different unpredictable data sources.
Absolutely. Safety is paramount, especially as robots are moving out of those controlled lab environments into our complex, messy world.
Right. And, like imagine a robot learning from a YouTube video that shows someone doing something reckless or dangerous.
Yeah.
Could that
that's a concern.
Lead to unintended consequences?
It's a valid concern, and it highlights the need for really robust safety mechanisms.
Yeah.
So researchers are working on algorithms that can identify and filter out potentially dangerous actions from that training data.
So it's like we're teaching the robots to discern right from wrong.
Exactly. Understand what's acceptable behavior and what's not.
Yeah, it's like teaching a child about road safety.
Yeah.
What to do, what not to do.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah, so we need to make sure these robots are not just learning to move, but learning to move responsibly.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so beyond safety, there's also the question of scalability. Can this approach really handle all the complexities of the real world?
It's the big question. I think the scaling studies provide some encouragement, as they increase the size of the models and data sets. The performance improved. But to get to that truly human-like agility and adaptability, it's going to require a lot more advancements in both algorithms and computing power.
Seems like there's still a lot of work to be done.
There is.
But the possibilities are pretty mind-blowing. If robots can learn to walk from watching YouTube videos, what else might they be able to learn?
That's the question, isn't it?
It is the question. Imagine robots that can learn complex tasks by just observing human experts.
Yeah.
Everything from surgery to construction to art,
Yeah, the possibilities are vast.
Yeah, and it's both awe-inspiring.
It is.
And a little bit daunting.
A little bit, yeah.
To think about. So to our listeners, as you venture back out into your own world, we leave you with this.
Okay.
As robots become more adept at learning from us, what will they teach us in return? Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. It was a fascinating one.
Yeah, this was a fun one. Thanks for having me.
We'll see you next time for another deep dive.
See you later.